The last video I did was trying to appeal to Trump supporters specifically. This video is going to try to appeal to those who cannot empathize any longer with those who voted Trump into office. I'm not expecting you to actively change your mind and find some kind of kumbaya moment and forgive people for this. That's not what this is about. But I want something that has made it impossible for me to hold on to rage for people that voted a particular way was the fact that in 2016 it was not a fluke. He did not win by accident. There's a reason why he won again, and it's not an accident. A lot of people will assume they associate the radical MAGA type factions and then they apply that kind of unhinged mentality onto the average voter that voted for Trump. And that's a mistake. It's so much of a mistake that it actually robs your ability to empathize with a lot of people who voted because of populist economic means. We are, as a country, surprisingly unified under a shared class struggle. The poor versus the rich. It's not left versus right, it's not Republican versus Democrat, it is the poor being eaten by the rich. And you can see this in the 2016 election. If you look at an overlap between places that swung heavily for Trump, there is a defining characteristic of those counties, and it's that they had an overwhelming amount of opioid abuse. The places who were hit hardest by opioid addiction were the places that were more likely to vote for Trump than not. In fact, it counts for about 2/3 of the likely voter base in all of these counties. 2/3. That's a substantial reason for why people considered voting for somebody who promised to destroy the system. Look at the system they were already in. These areas hit hardest by the opioid epidemic are already places that had been hit hard by just systemic poverty. These are rural, economically decimated areas, and they are exploited by the opioid market to get them hooked onto a drug. And people who were lucky enough not to get hooked onto the drug were unlucky enough to watch their friends and families die to it. They were unlucky enough to simply be born in the wrong place and then watch their communities destroy itself because of drug addiction. It shouldn't be surprising that people in this environment have felt utterly abandoned by the United States. And so all it took was one person with a megaphone to go over there into these places and say, I want to destroy this system. Why wouldn't they vote for that? Look at what the United States has allowed to happen across the country. This is one of the biggest predictors as to why 2016 happened and 2024 happened. And our collective unwillingness to see the catastrophic damage that the United States as a country has allowed to persist and eat away at its own citizens. Trump is the symptom, truly, of a far deeper, more egregious problem.